Hi, it's me, Addie again. So I might be like a little too late on this bandwagon 2 weeks ago. It's really late, but you know what? Who cares? Who cares? I wanted to do this. I wanted to participate in this. You know, I'm an artist too. I get to do this kind of stuff.
I drew every day for a year. What's the progress? Was it worth it? This is where it all started.
This is such a cool notebook. I honestly thought he drew that on the cover.
Day one.
Day one. Honestly, this is honestly this is good. This is for day one. This is good. Oh yes, the eye syndrome. Oh my god, why does everybody draw eyes? Even I did it. For some reason, it kind of annoys me. Like, not in a serious way, but it annoys me that everybody who isn't like picking up art seriously just draws eyes. Like, again, you can do whatever you want, but it's like one of my pet peeves. Just draw anything else but realistic, boring eyes.
Yes.
This person looks like they're having a stomach ache.
Yes. Man, this gives me confidence.
Exactly, confidence, because you should always compare yourself to yourself. But we're gonna see something interesting about that later in the video, about comparing yourself to yourself.
Drawing is more about training your brain to see rather than actually technical with your hand. I think that's a misconception I had.
Honestly, I wish I knew that before, because I thought I should just keep drawing again and again and again, especially with no reference, because I was a little silly idiot, and that will get me nowhere, and I will feel just stuck, and I will be perfecting this one drawing, this one little annoying drawing, and it will never be good enough. And that is just so bad. Honestly, just looking at so much art, perceiving it and focusing on the details and trying to realize how this person drew this and that, their leg anatomy, their eyes anatomy, their fingers anatomy. And then I just go back to my like drawing program to draw, immediately notice improvements, because now my eyes have took in this information and knowledge. Of course, I don't magically just draw these stuff, but it helps so much, because now I'm realizing, oh, there's a pattern here, there's a shape there, there's a like a whole thing there and there and there. And I did never notice before. It's so good to just train your eyes. Look at art and just admire it and just let it seep through your eyeballs. Just enjoy it and study it, I guess. The same time. I love those kind of expressions, those like exaggerated stuff. I love them.
So this is my progress after 82 days.
Yo,
84.
I remember this. This shocked everybody. It even shocked me. And I remember a lot of people honestly feeling negative and down on themselves because they couldn't get this good. But again, this is one picture from like one pose, one thing. If Pewdiepie at that day tried to draw this character without looking at a reference in like a complete different pose, he would probably not be able to do that. And that is not to say like, oh, he doesn't know how to draw, but it's to show you that like art is complicated. Just because he knows how to draw this doesn't mean you also can't draw it, or you can't draw better or different than it. So never compare yourself to other people. Everybody got a different journey and time.
I think just adding colors on papers is so satisfying to look at.
Honestly, I wish I can add colors to my real life drawing. I get so scared of ruining it. I get so scared. Sometimes I draw a drawing and I'm like, okay, I have to color this. I take a picture with my phone, I color in and I ruin it a little bit, and I'm like, okay, never mind. And then even looking at the one on my phone, I'm like, it doesn't feel the same. I want the one in the book, or like the sketchbook, I mean. It's a fear. That's why I draw digitally, just so I can control Z, can have layers, but I should honestly try that again.
Yeah, this is the last thing I drew.
This is adorable. The frogs are funny.
First of all, don't do what I...
Those are clean. Like the lines and the expressions are so much cleaner. This hand is really good too. This is pretty.
I just kept drawing the same things.
Yeah.
Anime girl.
That is so good that he pointed that out, because we all fall into that, because as soon as you get even a little good at something, now this is your comfort zone, and it feels so nice that you can actually draw this correctly. You don't want to leave it. And then you get so good at drawing enemy girls, for example, for Pewdiepie, that when you try to draw maybe enemy boys or animals or background, it's like you go back to zero, and it feels scary, it feels terrible, it feels annoying. You're like, nah, that's not meant for me. I'm not a background artist. But honestly, you didn't give it as much effort or time as the other things. So never give up on any sort of thing unless you give it enough time and practice, and start like slow, start little. Don't try to draw something huge from the beginning. That is pretty, man. I love that. I love that. Is that your? I think it's not your, no. He would give her red eyes. It would make sense. She's so pretty. I love it.
Finally, I moved.
I love the difference between all the cute anime girls and this guy. I think this is one of the first, not the first, one of the little times he draw people from the front. Something is off about it. I don't know if it's a stylistic thing. I think it's the style of the anime. Maybe it's just not my thing.
And one of them is just a huge thanks to other YouTubers that reacted to my video. I think that was so cool to see and actually get encouraged by professionals. I really, really appreciated that.
That is so nice, man. Imagine having that happen to you. I'm glad it was positive because it can easily go south when somebody is a beginner at something. And it's so easy to just be overly critical or overly trying to make them improve. Like yeah, criticism is good, but you don't want to just shower someone with criticism when they're a beginner. So I'm glad he got the positive reaction he got. And I hope that is true for everybody who want to learn any sort of art, drawing, singing, 3D, anything, whatever it is.
Another thing was that people said I had an art background. That was like a rumor that went around, and I guess I take that as a compliment, but no, I do not. I have not studied art. That was the whole point of this video. I was not being disingenuous. I have not drawn since I was a kid.
Honestly, that surprised me a little because when I read the comments, I heard people say something about that. Like I heard them mostly talk about that he had a Photoshop background, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, Photoshop background could help. But I heard some people say, oh, he went to like some sort of design or art college or major or some sort of thing. It wasn't clear. It was probably rumors because now we know the truth. But hearing that the first time I watched this video, I was like, what? Really? But then the more time I watched the video, the more I understood how he got this good.
But I think the biggest sort of thing that helped is that I'm actually older. Like I'm 35 now, and I think if I did this thing when I was younger, I would not have seen the same improvement.
That line specifically resonated so much with me. Like it shocked me. It made me pause the video, think for like straight 5 to 10 minutes. I was like, what? Doing something when you're older can be better than when you're younger? Because all the time I would see those young artists and I'll think in my head, man, I wish I was good as them. I wish I drew before. I wish I practiced when I was younger. I had so much time and so much like space in my brain or whatever. Because they always say like, oh, learning something as a young person is easier, or like your mind is a sponge or whatever. And I always believed in that, and I felt kind of envious that I didn't start learning art earlier. I can't say earlier, okay? It's just not any words with the R and L, like literally, it just don't want to come out of my mouth. So hearing that gave me a new sort of view that, hey, actually, because I'm older, it means I'm smarter, I'm more knowledgeable, and I can learn things faster. And honestly, that is so completely true. That is so completely true. And it made me so happy because now I can stop being so regretful of something that would not have probably made a change or probably maybe been even worse. So yeah, I really, really love that mindset, and I'm sticking by it from now on.
So to draw directly, it was so difficult. So I bought this pen. This pen is amazing. It's a brush pen, and if you squeeze it, ink comes out, and you can draw really slim lines or really thick lines really quickly. So nice. And
those kind of things scare me, because like, what if I drew something so good and then I suddenly ruin it with like one of the lines I drew? I would feel so scared.
Told myself I was gonna force myself to use this pen, even though it looks like shit.
But that's good. Honestly, that's so good.
Felt like taking 100 steps back, but that's how you have to improve.
It's so interesting that he always says stuff like that. And honestly, every artist says stuff like that. But I'm like, what do you mean 100 steps back? You're literally the same or better. Like, I am not seeing any downgradation from the stuff I saw before. Maybe it's just different. Like, I don't know. I don't know. It's always the artist being overly critical of themselves. But I guess that's how they improve. To a degree. Hopefully in like the healthy way.
But what I should have been doing is draw other things as well.
Yes, exactly what I said before. And what he even said before when he drew boys. But I think he forgot that he can draw other things than like boys and girls.
I started drawing perspective, and I wanted to understand these things.
That is honestly amazing, the amount of things he's trying to take in. Because for me, I never went this far and beyond. I was so scared, and I always stayed in such a tiny comfort zone. And if I took any step outside, it would be like the nearest step outside. It's like, oh, I know how to draw humans. Okay, let me draw humans smaller, like baby humans. Oh, I'm drawing cats. Let me draw maybe dogs. Stuff that are so close to each other. And I mean, that's not a bad thing inherently, but this is very cool because it's like building different comfort zones that are far away from each other. And eventually, the bigger you build them, the more they're gonna start like interacting, or like, what is the word? Like getting close to each other. So now they have a shared zone in between where, let's say, you really know how to draw perspective and you're really good at shading, and now you can fuse these things together, even though they're like completely like different zones. So that is really cool, honestly. That is amazing. I should do that.
Finally, after, I don't know, 300 days of drawing, I picked up an art book. I should have done this ages ago. For me, it's just supposed to be fun, and I think if I'm having fun, I will remain consistent. So at least that's what I was trying to focus on. I picked up books about perspective because
That is very interesting, honestly. I never in my life picked anything like that. And as a beginner artist, it always seemed so vague. Like those tutorials were like, oh, there are muscles here, and there's like a triangle here, and the human body is like this. And I was like, this is too much information. No matter how many times I drew it, I felt like it wasn't working. And I think, honestly, these kind of stuff are maybe, I wouldn't say for intermediate, but something between a beginner and an intermediate. Like, I think someone should mess around more freely before getting into this. At least that was for me. And it felt like those things honestly needed to be explained verbally. Like someone needed to show me that this shape is drawn like this because of this, and it can bend like this with this, blah, 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 blah. Just looking at it, that didn't help. It's like seeing those pictures where it's like, step 1, draw a circle. Step 3, add details. Step 3, finished. It felt like that to me. And I think that's why a lot of people think drawing is so scary and so difficult and so impossible or something. But believe me, it's possible. You just need to get past the start, which is the scary part. I honestly love this like person. I think he said, what was it, Taco? I'm not sure. Anyway, I love this like yellow guide thingy. It's so good and it's so clear and so simple. If this book existed in English, I would buy it. I don't know where to get it from. I would buy it.
It feels embarrassing to admit this, but like everyone was so amazed by my 100 one that I felt like, okay, well, my year one has to be really good, right? Like, but progress isn't a straight line. Like,
yes, this is actually one of the things that I thought what he said before, that if he did this when he was younger, he could have probably done it worse. Because when you're older, you can realize things like this. You lived through life and been through a lot of things to realize that success and improvement is never a straight line. It's literally, and actually like that scribbly line. It's never clear where you're going. Sometimes you have a really low, sometimes you have a really high, sometimes you don't know when it's ever gonna get higher again, but it does eventually. It really does.
I think I was being too hard on myself, where I was getting close to a year and I'm like, I don't have anything to show for it. I drew a full body one and I'm like comparing it to my 80-day one.
I know, man, the feeling. I know the feeling. Oh. I said before that I'm gonna bring this again, actually. When I say, oh, comparing yourself to your old self is good and perfect because, you know, you did those stuff in the past, so it's only fair to compare to you, because if you did it once, you can do it again. But in this sort of case, I was like, oh, I was better before. How? And why? And why can't I do this now if it's me? But that's the thing. Like, improvement is not a straight line. It's so annoying, because like, oh my god, I drew such good drawings, I never drew anything like them again. But that's just how it is, annoyingly. So you just try to stabilize your improvement so that you can draw things in a certain level that you're happy with. And thankfully, I can say I've reached that. I'm happy with my art right now. But it took a while. It took maybe 6-7 years, I'm not even sure. That's when I took art seriously. I think it was 2016, 2017, so you can kind of calculate it from there. But yeah, it took a while.
So yeah, if you want to improve, you have to kind of go through the pain of sucking again, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
It really felt...
Honestly, right now, sucking and like drawing things that are kind of ugly is not as punishing anymore, because I know that I've been through this process so much that like, yeah, this is actually the part of the process. Sucking and drawing ugly drawings, it's actually fine. That's actually a good sign, because if I drew them good immediately, that means I have nothing to learn, and that might seem like a good thing, like, all right, I'm just perfect. But no, the more you make mistakes, the more you learn from them, and the better you get at like a lot of things at once. If you know how to draw a house, you might know how to draw like a different type of house or a robot or a car, because maybe they share some things, because like they're human buildings, and human buildings share a lot of things, you know, like, I don't know, windows, doors, for examples.
I think I wanted to learn to draw and actually understand anatomy. Before, it didn't matter to me. It was just a hobby, but now I'm like, I want to actually know, like, how.
That is very relatable, honestly, because I wanted to draw for fun, and I did want to improve, but then in a while in my life, I felt like improving and getting good and learning anatomy was just too much pressure, that I felt like I didn't want to honestly improve anymore. I just wanted to have fun with it, but I couldn't have fun with it because my art wasn't good enough in my own eyes. So after slowing down and trying to improve on my own level for fun, slowly, whatever it is. I got to a certain degree that I'm so happy with my art. I'm having so much fun that now I'm like genuinely and out of my own will considering improvement, because like I don't draw for anything that is serious. Like I don't work as an artist, I don't do commissions, I don't do any of these stuff because I'm not interested in them, or I don't want them to be how I use my art skills. I want my art skills to be different things, you know? So improving for me is completely optional, but now I feel like I genuinely want to do it and I want to participate in that and I want to learn anatomy and learn things. So doing it out of your own will is so much better, it's so much nicer, and it's so much more rewarding. It's so silly.
And this is the end result, and I genuinely hate looking at it.
Oh, I know the feeling. And honestly, as probably a lot of people said, it doesn't look that bad for like someone who's drawing on the iPad for like first time or something. Or maybe this is the 10th time, whatever. It's like in the beginning. You literally just picked this up and this is what you draw. Oh, wow. This is insane. He's being too critical on himself. No, he's a real artist for sure.
And this is the last thing I drew. I finished it yesterday and I think I'm finally happy with it. I finally drew clothes.
Bura has picked up shading like it was nothing. Ah, that is insane. I mean, yeah, of course, this is not like the most perfect high-level shading, but this is him showing effort and trying and messing with it. That is amazing, honestly. It takes bravery, because I would be too ashamed of anything that I don't think is perfect to share and show. I'd be like, nah, this is too bad, too bad. So I appreciate that he's sharing.
I think I'm finally happy with it. I think for a year progress, am I allowed to be happy?
Yes, you. Of course you are. That's such a funny question. Am I allowed to be happy? No, you should be sad and depressed and hate yourself. That's
there, you
so
know,
funny.
like let's compare. Day 1,
Dang,
day 365.
That's insane. That is insane. That is something to be proud of. I clap for the resilient for going all this
I don't
time.
know, maybe you guys disagree, but I feel like I finally beat my 80-day whatever.
No.
This is still better.
No, that's so sad because I feel bad. Oh my god.
It's about practice, constant practice, no matter
Yes.
what. It's not rocket science.
Constant practice, but in the right way that fits you, that fits your time, that fits your needs, whatever. Because I always heard, oh, practice, practice, practice. But what is a practice? What is practice if I don't know how to practice, you know? But definitely, if we're not getting too specific, yeah, practice is a key.
Usually if I try something, people are like, oh yeah, that's cool. Well, watch me do it 100 times better. And it's just kind of like, yeah, I'm just beginner.
Honestly, whoever does that feels kind of weird. Like, yeah, bro, you're a professional at this. Of course you're gonna be better. What do you mean? Like, I don't get it. It feels kind of low. It's a low move. Why? Like, oh my god, look at me. I can draw better than this person who literally just started. Oh my god, no way. Really? Thank god. Because if you didn't, that'd be embarrassing.
See you guys in the next one, whenever that will be. I don't know, but it will be.
Pewdiepie I drew for 2 years. Anybody? Hopefully. That was very nice. Very lovely. Gave me a lot of positive energy. I feel so excited and so happy because I am interested so much in art. I have a big passion for art and I want to do so many things with my skills, from drawing things, from maybe merch one day, for having animations like a pilot show or something. Like a lot of ideas in my head that I want to do one day, and seeing someone have passion for the same thing, especially someone I really enjoy watching like PewDiePie, it's so fun because I feel like everybody is talking about this thing I like. Let's go. This was fun sharing my opinion and watching PewDiePie video. If you guys want more videos of me reacting to things and saying my opinions and talking about it, tell me in the comments. Hope this was fun. See you later. Bye bye.